Yes, yes. Yes, we did want to speak and share a perspective about what it is to be having independent experiences. It is not possible for every single soul to have the same growth and experiences as each other. You could even have an experience together in the same room, and you could take away your own personal notices, feelings, thoughts, and opinions about how the event went. It is different for each collective to have different experiences, as they are collectively connected to each other. And some can be distracted or more focused on certain things to deeply explore all opportunities. Some souls, you could say, like to skim through a book, and other souls like to read each individual word and reread those individual words and think about all of the nuances of all the other books they've ever read while pondering the journey of that one book. And so you all can take things quite differently. You can't assume you're all the same in the way you learn, the way you enjoy, the way you love, the way you evolve, and the way you grow. And we're saying you are aware of different collectives at their different stages of their evolution. And that is some of your sticking points for some of you who still think you're above or beneath or judging other soul essences, other collectives. You're all part of Source. Um, there is so much to be said about how you could describe what Source is. But if you could label it, it would be an emotion of love. And now, for some of you, your own experiences and interpretations and expressions of love is very different from each other. While it is a high frequency vibrations, as you would feel it as a description on your planet that you're living on now and consciously aware of, there is many versions of love that is expressed. Uh, Again, some of you assume that you should all react and respond and show love as you do. And you're only seeking love from others as you do. This can confuse you when you are not qualifying other people's behaviors and reactions towards you as love. As you know, there is tough love. As you know, there are loving experiences, but at all soul levels, you are in love with each other and support each other with beautiful compassion and consideration for your journey and your soul's growth. It comes to the challenges of forgetting who you are and the experience of Earth that is giving the soul the most various experiences to have, to consider, to experience. It's all significant. And some of you are still struggling to identify what love of self is and how to even achieve love of self. Some of you are aware that you have more respect for, say, a God or a collective or a source, and you feel so foreignly distant and disconnected from them. And we are saying it is like how we were referring you in your 3D living as the hand of your physical body, and that your subconscious and that your other higher dimensional selves were other parts of your body. And we are saying when you're all one, how could you be disconnected? You've never been connected from Source. It is just the perspective There is so much density, so much static frequency that is surrounding you while you're living on this earth that you cannot tune out all other frequencies of information you're receiving to be able to feel and focus on source itself. And it takes quite the mindset to still one's body, still one's mind, to be able to just feel into that higher frequency. You have all got the opportunity to be guided through that. And we have given you that 15-minute white light healing meditation to be able to practice relaxing the mind, to relax the body, to be able to just focus on source life energy itself and to isolate that frequency for you, to be able to recall how to be able to do it naturally within moments as soon as you choose to use your free will to be able to connect back into that relaxation, seeing and noticing all tension that you're holding in the body, and seeing and noticing all tension that you're holding in your mind with your worries, your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, and your distractions. We want to remind you that all is well. There is nothing that can't be. All is well from our perspective, and we can see all perspectives of what is happening on your planet and why. And so there may feel like some dramatic events that could trigger you into losing your faith and hope and trust in higher dimensional beings being able to do their duties and roles. We're saying there is more of us than there is of you. And so we are tag teaming you with love, shall we say? And while you can feel into our frequency, we're not human. And so for you to try and imagine us being human with our frequency, it is lacking and limiting you to connect in with us, because we are not that energy frequency, or we are different. And when you channel for yourselves, you can feel it is quite a different feeling from feeling into a human and their energy frequency. We are so much more softer and subtle. We do not, we want to say this, we're not the show ponies humans are, in terms of demanding your attention and pulling in your energy to make you notice each other. And also, we're so deeply connected. You assume that there is something else beyond what you already are connected in with. Some of you are taking us for granted and taking your intuition and dismissing it as if it is no big deal. And we are saying that isn't necessarily serving you anymore, as you are always connected in with us. And the more you trust and feel into love from your heart, compassion from your soul, then that is always going to be the best advice and guidance to work with each other in beautiful compassion and harmony. It is a time to respect all journeys, all life contracts, and to honor everyone's path. And the more you love yourself and empower yourself, the more you realize that being distracted by other people's dramas is not of interest anymore. You also don't have the God complex of trying to save each other anymore either, which is good for you to be able to know what your responsibilities are, realizing you're just to love and support each other with friendships versus trying to push people into directions that you're interested in, that your soul journey of evolution is at. And you realize that at some point or another you have disrupted the natural growth evolution of individuals. You will know when you've done this, and it is all fine. You cannot truly hurt someone's soul. And while you may trigger people to take a step back, when you are coming from a beautiful, loving place where you're trying to help someone, And when it's not coming from ego, it can be processed and seen for what it is. And we understand some of your friends and family are going on a different journey from you, and that is fine. So know if it is time for you to let them go on their own journey and accept their life contracts, accept their free will versus your expectations of where they should be at. When you can't see everyone's life contracts, you can make what we say is foolish assumptions of where they should be and how they should be. There is a vast difference between what you assume and what actually is part of their life contract and journey. So we say with love, remember what your responsibilities are. To be in love frequency, to be in high frequency, and to trust that there is more support for everyone than just you and you alone. We notice that there is a shift in your energies as you have been reminded of this, because some of you are distracting yourselves with others and you are impatient for them. You want to wake them up so boldly that you're taking interesting measures to enforce this upon them. And we are saying some of you just need to have a nice balance of just focusing on the joys of living versus the joys and the pressure of awakening humanity. We understand your intentions, and while it is beautiful because you're trying to help, some levels of truth can be poison for others, and you know this. So forgive yourselves for the times you came from a pure heart trying to help people, when really it was about you empowering yourself to believe and trust in what you believe and trust in, and to feel inner peace that way. This is a teamwork effort on your planet, but also it's independent soul's journey. And you must focus on your soul journey first and make sure you have empowered yourself more than being distracted by others, because this can take you off your own purpose and your own path. Many of you are noticing the higher frequency energy that is happening within the bodies, and you're not alone in feeling that. All who are on this planet are feeling this, regardless of whether they want to acknowledge it or not. And so, with great new energy boosts, this can have an uncertainty about it. It's an unsettling process for many who do not like this change. We are noticing many humans do not like change at all because they suddenly become concerned of it and worry, and this pressure of worrying and being more fixated on the physical body lowers your frequency vibrations. And so we are saying you have to be mindful that there are many good people that you know struggling to be in their bodies, because their bodies are feeling unlike their normal bodies, as there is much changes going within as they are having stronger upgrades. We are pushing so much energy into your physical fields that for some collectives this is dreadful. They are not coping, and they're actually outwardly struggling, and they are finding other methods to ground themselves. And this is purposeful. This is a brilliant time for them to be forced into this. Again, we're not breaching their free will, because we aren't breaching their free will. They are naturally absorbing our energy. And this is a marvelous experience, but they can have fear, such profound fear with what's happening. They may be tempted to label this what you call 5D, 5G technology, radiation, and a whole lot of other names to confirm their worst fears that there is something wrong with their bodies. And so we would say to them, if they asked us directly, your bodies are just advancing at a higher frequency rate. And when you have density within you, when you're still wanting to think negatively, when you're still wanting to have limitations, this is even more unsettling. And so it is purposeful. We are supporting higher perspectives. We are supporting higher comprehensions of mindsets. And so, if you could stop being so focused and distracted on the physical bodies and focus on your mindsets and where you're comfortable with thinking and feeling and trusting you are protected, knowing you are safe, and knowing that everything that is happening is significant and purposeful for what is to come. We are always focusing people to be prepared for what is to come. It is not an accident what we are helping and how we are helping. And so we appreciate all for you to drop any worries and concerns and to trust all is well. Because as we said before, it is not possible for things to not be all is well. Regardless of the journey, the destination is always going to be the outcome that you're all truly prepared for at this point. And so it is exciting times, so you can enjoy what experiences you have to enjoy here on earth, to be able to empower yourselves, to be able to empower others to have faith and trust in their own bodies, and to not necessarily jump to other band-aids, other fixing points that aren't the actual root of the issue. And so all is well. All is well. All is well.